Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is another episode of the Android game development series, and in this video we are going to look at finalizing our gameplay in our Breakout game. And to do this we'll need to add the functionality to destroy the bricks and to restart when the game is over. So to do that, the first thing I've done is that we are going to handle all of the interactions through our game state. So we have made it a bit more complex, and now we have made it a friend class of game so that game can access its private members, which is going to be necessary for some things. Now for the public member, it still has the reference to the camera and the delta time, but it has now two more functions. One is destroy and one is restart. So destroy just takes a game object and it queues it for destruction. Since we are looping over the objects, we cannot destroy them while we are looping over them. That would not work. So we need to go ahead and call the destroy, which will insert it into a set, as we'll see, and then in the end, after we are done looping, we can remove those. And in restart, we just set should restart to true. This is a boolean here, which if this is true, then after doing the loop we'll restart the game basically. So in the private members, we have got the constructor here, and this just initialize the camera and the delta time, and this constructor is private, so it can only be called by game. And we have got the unordered set here, and the reason we use a set is because if there are multiple, if for example the same object is destroyed multiple times, that causes no problems because it won't allow duplicate elements. And make sure you use an unordered set here because it's a bit more performant, and we don't really need any ordering here. And we set should restart to false. Obviously initially only set it to true if the restart function is called. So inside of game, you can see that we have got a new variable here, which is called an update delay, which is a number of seconds that it will wait before calling the update function. So when an object is spawned, after a certain number of seconds, it will start updating till that it won't update. And now since our game state is now containing a lot of other stuff and it's going to be modifiable, we are going to make it, instead of taking it by value, we are going to take it by reference in all of our callbacks. And inside of the game class, we've got another function here, spawn, which is just to remove some of the boilerplate. So we have got this function here which will actually create the whole level, and let's go ahead and see how these are implemented. So first of all, inside of when we are doing our constructor, we just call spawn. So this spawn is actually going to handle all of the objects, so we just call spawn here, and we'll also call it when we want to restart. So inside of the update, pretty much everything is the same, but now when we are updating, we check if the delay is greater than 0. If it's not greater than 0, we subtract the delta time from it. Otherwise, if it is if the timer is up, then we just update it. So now let's go down here. After doing everything from with our state, we now go ahead and check if our state is supposed to restart. If it does, we call spawn, which just respawns the whole level, removes everything, and adds the stuff all over again. And if that is not true, then we basically remove the objects that are supposed to be destroyed. For this, we use the standard algorithm called remove if, which takes a condition and removes all of the elements based on that. So we give it the two iterators, our objects begin and end iterators for the range it needs to scan. And for the callback, it's just a lambda, which it just takes the object and checks if the do delete contains that. So we get the count of the object, which basically tells us the number of times this object appears. Since it's not a multi-set, it can either be 0 or 1. So if it's 1, it means it is present, and if it is present, we want to delete it. So if an object is present in the toDelete queue, we remove that object. Now this remove if function, in case you don't know, it actually does not erase the elements. It just arranges it so that the elements that are supposed to be removed are at the end. And this iterator that it returns, this end is just an iterator, and it points to the last element that is actually valid. So this is the last element that is valid, and all the elements that are not supposed to be there are now located after this and here. So we actually do need to manually erase it. For this, we just do objects.erase, and we start from our ending iterator, so where we are supposed to be done, and then we go to the actual end iterator of the object, and then we just remove everything that's extra here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now in touch even, we need to basically do the same after each cycle. So basically remove all of the things that are supposed to be deleted and then restart if it is needed. So now let's look at the spawn function, and that's pretty much the same like we had before, except the fact now we are taking references here. And as you can see, we just set our objects here. Inside of the ball, we actually have an update delay of 2 seconds, so that when the game starts or restarts, the ball doesn't immediately starts going around. It waits for 2 seconds before starting that. And inside of the update function, now when we hit the bottom line, instead of bouncing up, we actually just restart. And the reason we do that is because if we go ahead and hit the bottom one, then that means that the game is over, so we basically just restart it. And inside of the onCollide function now, we actually, after we are done with checking the pair, we check if it is tag is brick, and we can actually put this in an else here. And if the tag is brick, that means that it is a brick, so we can destroy it, because when a ball hits a brick it destroys it. So we just call state to destroy on the other here. And yeah, that's pretty much it, and that is going to work correctly, and we should be able to use this to get it working. So now let's go ahead and run that and see how it goes. So as you can see, now it runs, and you can see that the ball is going there, and actually, yeah, so you can see that the ball starts to move upwards, and whatever brick it hits, it immediately breaks it, and as you can see, it is working correctly. And if I let it go down, you can see that it resets the whole scene, and now it starts all over again. So yeah, that's pretty awesome, and that means that our basic gameplay is working. And now the things that are left to do is basically we have basically covered all of them, and now it's just going to be a fun challenge for you to try and see whether you can add all of the stuff that is missing. We have basically got the got the basic foundation for that. We just need to implement it. So that is going to be a fun challenge to try out. For example, to add textures to this, or to, for example, add sound. We haven't covered sound really yet, but you can use a library like SDL or SFML to handle the sound if you want to, or you can do it yourself with something like a low level library. But anyways, another thing that you can try to add is a score or a menu. And as we said, we've got the foundation in place, we have got text rendering and all of that, so it's just now using those to actually make this game more engaging. So yeah guys, this is going to be pretty much it for this video, and we're going to actually close this series here, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe as well, and share this video with other people, and bye.